Thanks for attending the spring preview event for 2023. We'll get started now, but big thanks to everyone for attending. This is really an event for all you owners. Opportunity to sort of mix with other owners and also get an opportunity to mix with the trainers who make their time to come here and have a chat with us and also have a chat with you guys. So we really appreciate their efforts. Dave Eustace and Sam Friedman are on their way, but we'll kick off with Ben Hayes, who was here very early, so we'll get him off started. Thanks, Ben. Ben's the Hayes brothers are obviously in great form at the moment. They've obviously had Mr. Brightside win yesterday, but overall they're a new training partnership to our Dream Thoroughbred stable, and although Ben's been in my ear a few years and trying to get us on board, finally wore us down, and Josh Ricks over there, who's attended from the Hayes, from Lindsay Park, sorry. So thanks for coming, Josh, as well. So we're really happy to have another trainer in the mix. Obviously, we're still loyal to the existing trainers, which is Anthony and Sam Friedman, Kieran, Mar and Dave Eustace, and Ash and Amy Yagi. So, and we'll stick loyal to them as well. But we wanted to just bring in another trainer into the mix because Melbourne and Victoria is our biggest base. Even though we've grown a lot in Queensland over the last couple of years, Melbourne is still home to us, and the best racing is here in Melbourne. And obviously we can slip over the border to Sydney if we want to steal some of their money. But I thought we'd get to know Ben and Lindsay Park Racing a little bit with this interview today. They've got a few of our new 2-year-olds which are still being educated, so we can go through where they're at. But Ben now has been joined, Ben and JD were in partnership, and now Will Hayes has joined them. So I suppose the first question, Ben, is who's the boss?
It's a good question. We get asked that quite a bit. Thank you for coming today, and it's a pleasure to be able to speak at this event. I've got the most experience. I can say that because I've been a trainer 5 years longer than JD. So when it comes down to making those big decisions on those horses, it's basically 3 ways, and luckily there's 3 of us now, so you can get ganged up on a bit, which isn't always great because you're on the losing end, but it's a good way of doing it. And if we all can't decide, we just talk to our father, who's a Hall of Fame horse trainer, and he makes the final call, and then we just move on. I think it's important that you listen to opinions and try to come up with the best decision. And yeah, so I like to think I am, but it's pretty even.
Do you fight?
Yes.
So it's sort of well known that you've got a fantastic training facility at Euroa. Anyone who hasn't been there, we went down there about 3 or 4 weeks ago. It was amazing, I must admit. I was blown away with all the facilities down there. But you did take a bit of a backward step when your dad went to Hong Kong. But what's been some of the reasons for your success of late? And you've sort of bounced back the last 2 years, the number of 2-year-old winners, Mr. Brightside, equal favourite for the Cox Plate. Has there been a reason for that change?
Yes, there's multiple reasons. It was a big change, as has been well recorded. We went from a 200 horse stable to a 100 horse stable in 3 months. So we lost a lot of horses
And owners.
And owners. We had lots of people leave, which is understandable because I was a junior partner of the training partnership, and there was lots of change. So that all happened, but that also gave us the opportunity to get the right team around us. It was actually the biggest blessing in disguise. While it was hard and we did enjoy it at the time, all that change was great. We had about 30 people leave as well, staff along with horses, and we reduced, and then we were able to, in a funny way, it happened when COVID happened. So we had about a year where we were able just to focus on the horses. We really focused on communication with owners, but we weren't having to go away. It was just full horses, and we converted all our worksheets to digital. I used to handwrite all our worksheets out. Dad left, we went from 21st century, which is very handy, and that really changed our lives. The communication between us, we really worked on. Our communication with our vets, our farriers, we made it more of a team environment. When Tom left, it was a little bit toxic. There was people that didn't believe in us, and we just focused on those 1%ers, how we spell our horses, when we bring them in, planning to target races, and it just goes on. So it's not one particular reason. Another thing we've done as well, my partner Grace Ramage, she's a big asset to our business. She does all the form. She's actually helps us place our horses, and she's quite good at it. So she's doing a very good job there. So it's a big mixture of, there's luck. Mr. Brightside hadn't won a race, and we didn't realise how good he was. He came through the grades, just finding the right horse at the right time. So lots of little things happened, and a lot of hard work, a lot of tears, a lot of fights, and now we're enjoying the ride at the moment. We're having the best start to a season we've had since I've been in training along with my dad and Tom, and no, we're really enjoying it.
So with the three of you partnership, what are the roles? Is one of you designated to Flemington, or are you all at Euroa? Sort of just explain how that sort of works between the three of you.
Yeah, so we actually downsized as well. We sold our stables in Sydney, Gay Waterhouse, Corking office, so we're only in 2 bases now, which I like. As trainers, we pre-train as well. So we bring up horses from the start, actually our stable, they do their first 4 or 5 weeks with us. And I actually think that's a good advantage. So, getting to your question, so Will's main focus coming into the business, he's just come out of his AFL career. He missed a lot of work working with the horses, he wasn't able to do that. So he's now riding, he rides 10 in the morning, so he's working hard, and he's very good with staff and making it a team environment. He kind of treats them like a footy team, which is quite funny. And he brings all that footy philosophy, that word I can't say it, into the training and into how the staff will work together. Don't get me wrong, they still fight and there's still arguments. It can be hard, but it's really improved the culture. And he really focuses on the horses, the pre-training, making sure they're getting all the right work done. JD, he's a really good planner. He's very organised. For someone who's got the messiest room in the world, he's very organised at work. And he's really particular. The way we do our worksheets now, you can go back and look at the horse's work this time last year leading into a race, and he always challenges me. If he disagrees, he always says, no, but last time we did this, we should do that, or, you know, this is, why are you doing this, last time we did this, which is really good. It's frustrating, but sometimes he's right, and we change and we listen. So he's very organised, where I'm probably a bit more like my dad. If he's a bit, I kind of just go off the horse and I do the work with the horse, and I know over the 5 years I know what's worked and what hasn't, where JD's only just started and you'll go, let's try this, and I say, oh, we have tried that before and it didn't work. And you know, we just work off each other really well, and I think that's important because we've got to take ego out of it. We're all as good as each other, we all have our assets. Some people are, you know, JD's very good at things he does, I'm good at the things I do, and Will's exceptional at what he does. So I think that's the key. We get along with each other. The question that we fight, we do. But it's only ever coming from the heart and trying to get the best result for the horse.
Well, it seems to be working, so there's no truth in the matter that was all Josh's. Josh was the one who changed everything around.
And Josh.
We'll get into the horses that we have with you now. So this is a colt that we're excited to see, the I Am Immortal Savvy Shields colt. There's a couple owners here today. I Am Immortal is a stallion that we raced with Anthony and Sam Friedman. Sam's at the back. And he was a dual stakes winning son of I'm Invincible. and he is the only dual stakes winning son of Ivan Grimswell as a 2-year-old, still to this day. So, yeah, so he's at Swettenham Stud. I am a part owner in the stallion, so yeah, I'm sort of a bit biased from that point of view. But Savvy Shields is actually a filly or mare that we raced as well, that Anthony and Sam raced. And I actually bought her with another owner back off the ownership group, and we foaled this colt and we syndicated him through the Dream Network. So I know he's only done an educational prep today, but what is he showing you today?
We've been really happy with him, guys. So he's done his breaking in, and he's come in for what we call our orientation prep. So just to try and explain it, it's basically they do 6-7 weeks. They learn how to use all our facilities. They go on all our tracks. We teach them how to swim, go on the treadmill, go on the water walker, and towards the end of it, we give them a nice little gallop. We just take them off the bridle the last 100 metres and then tip them out. He's did a very good job. I think if there's some owners here, if you remember seeing the footage, he actually was left a bit flat-footed, and this is very common for 2-year-olds. The other one just went, and he went, hang on, what's going on? Because it was the first ever gallop he's done. But what was pleasing about him, it all clicked late, he was strong through the line, and he actually ended up finishing on terms with his work partner. So that's a good sign. He learned a lot. He then went to the gate, popped out the gates, only went 200 metres, and currently in the paddock, and he's due back into work in about 2 weeks to start his first preparation. And that prep, we generally treat them more like a normal horse. Obviously, they're still young, so it's a little less work than a normal horse, but they kind of get treated and put through the system like a normal horse. So at this stage, he's had 1 gallop and he passed. But in terms of ability, very hard to tell you as a superstar, but we'll get a better idea from his first preparation. But at this stage, very happy with him, done everything right.
He's sort of a big, strong type. Does that give you more confidence that he can handle a 2-year-old prep, or does size not matter when it comes to 2-year-olds?
He is big. Sometimes, yes, being big is good and being early, but sometimes you can grow and still be immature and need time. So at this stage, I'd say he's not going to be early. We might be racing after Christmas. I think he still needs to fill out into his body, but I could be totally wrong as well. He might surprise us in his first prep. He might sprint up the hill and go really well and do everything correct, and we might be able to get him to the races. So it's a very hard question. It depends how they grow and when they grow. Sometimes they grow early, and sometimes they're late maturers. It's like little kids. Some grow quick, some don't.
The next one is the Zoustar Estabrook Jam colt. A Zoustar colt that we purchased from the Inglis Easter Yearling Sale. An athletic, medium-sized colt. He's a good mover. What's his progress been today? He's been sort of in work at the same time as the Iron Immortal colt.
Yeah, that one at the exact same time. He probably did his home gallop slightly better. It was a bit more professional, and to me, he probably looks like he could be a bit early. He's a horse that we could get to the races. He showed good speed, did everything right. So this next preparation will really tell us if we can get him to the races. But at this stage, he's come through the system. He's been very straightforward. Hasn't put a foot wrong yet, and we're very happy with him. I like him.
You mentioned when they sprint up the hill as a 2-year-old. So is that sort of how you get a guide with horses that can sort of keep that are strong up that hill, basically?
Yeah. So when a young horse and you're trying to work out if they're early or not, there's only sprint races until well after Christmas. So what you're really looking for is speed in a horse. If they show good speed and they're doing it all correct, they're mature, they have a chance to be early. But you'll find a lot of horses don't really race before Christmas. It's quite hard to get them there, and you just got to listen to the horse. So if they're doing it right and really sprinting up the hill well, they're sound, their knees are not open and they're not growing, that's when you can have a horse that's early. Us trainers do make mistakes and run them too early occasionally, get a bit carried away, but it's basically what you're looking for is a horse with speed to be early, and they've got to allow you to do it.
The next one is the Written by Holfer Ransom filly, another racing type of filly. She's related to a 2-year-old stakes-based filly, but she's just finished her educational prep, I think on Friday.
Yep.
Some fillies struggle to handle their early preps, but how has she sort of coped with the work you've given us over?
Great. Luckily, all yours have been really easy and straightforward. No, she did her orientation great, no problems at all. We popped her out the gates on Friday. She was a little bit green, but we never show that footage to anyone because it's learning and it's education. And but she did everything right. Very happy with her. I was again happy with the way she came up the hill. She was too good for a work partner in her final gallop, which is always a good sign. So she's showing signs. She might be a little bit on the early side, but she's got to go to the paddock now in another 6 weeks. This time of year in the spring, get your head down on the grass when it's really growing is when they do that best maturing and developing. So she's got to really thrive.
Mr. Brightside, congratulations to you on back-to-back Group 1 wins with him this prep. He's already won back-to-back Doncaster handicaps over the Randwick Mile and the All-Star Mile over 1600, but he hasn't won beyond 1600. So how are you feeling about the Cox Plate chances?
I really do believe he is a top miler now, but if you really go back and look hard through his form, because every time we've stepped him out past a mile, that's been in the Underwood. He's drawn wide draws and ended up right back, and he's always run really hard and hit the line well. We just haven't had luck once we've gone up and trip. I believe if he had a run similar to what he had in the Mackay Diva, and he'd really run it out. He's physically developed again, he's mentally better, and the way he pulled up this morning and how sound he is at the moment, I think it'll be no problem. So I'm pretty confident he'll show everyone he can run a strong 2000.
What's his next up?
We're going to go to Sydney, and there's a $5 million King Charles weight for age group 1 over a mile. So he's undefeated in Sydney over a mile, so we thought it wasn't a bad idea to head in that direction.
Thanks, Ben. Appreciate your help. Who's on now? Today, a nice bottle of Shiraz. Thanks for your time, mate. And I think you've got a tip in the Thursday Diamond as well, haven't you? Oh, this is Seymour. This is Ashen